Number 5.
One more try. I didn't know how much I loved you. One more try. Let me put my arms around you.
What is this?
It's been a long time since you left me.
I tend to think I'm a pretty knowledgeable guy about music, but I have literally no idea what I'm looking at here. I don't know the singer, I don't know the song, I've never heard this, or anything remotely like it. Anybody? Anyone have any idea what the hell this is?
It's been a long time since I've kissed you.
Even AllMusic.com, the most comprehensive resource on popular music in existence, gives me close to nothing, except that this was apparently a #1 hit. This was a #1 hit? That can't be right. This can't have been big enough to hit #1. I've never heard of it. How has history so thoroughly erased this?
Living all these lonely nights without you.
I'm a little stymied. I got nothing. This is just shitty in a pretty non-specific way. I think I'm just gonna move on here. Next.
Can we give it one more try?
Number 4.
Because I love you, and I'll do anything.
What?
I got your letter from the postman just the other day.
Is this not the same song as the last one? Like, just with the drums removed? It's just, I've never heard of this guy or this song either. And again, AllMusic tells me almost nothing, except that this was also a #1 hit. How?
Won't you please come on in?
Like, I could buy one, but how are there 2 completely different #1 songs that I've never heard of, from artists I've never heard of, with similar voices and similar names? Timmy T, Stevie B. They have names like the fake people who give testimonials in diet pill ads. I mean, I guess these guys must be real people, but why were they popular? These are both garbage. I think people might have bought this guy's single because they confused the ballad named One More Try with a much better ballad named One More Try from a much better singer. And the other one is called Because I Love You, the Postman song. I don't even know why it's called that. He only mentions a postman once right at the beginning, and that's it. I think he was trying to trick people into thinking this song might be interesting. The Postman song, like, ooh, is it like, please Mr. Postman? Like he's begging his postman to bring his girlfriend's letters? Or is he a postman in love? Is he in love with his postman? Is he sad because his girl got shot by a disgruntled postman? Nope, nothing. AllMusic tells me they were both guys in the Latin freestyle genre, which as I recall sounds more like this. So, I don't know what these 2 doofs have to do with that. Also, they both can't sing. Notice how they have the reverb effect all the way up? Yeah, that's the same trick karaoke machines use to try and help even the most inept twerps sound like they can sing. Trying to tell the 2 apart, I guess Timmy B's has the better music, but Stevie T is the better singer. No, hold on. It's Timmy T and Stevie B. Look, there's not any real difference between the 2. It's basically a tie. They're both equally shitty. Number 3. I used to watch a lot of VH1 back when VH1 was still watchable, and they always liked to show the, most shocking moments in music, sexiest moments in rock and roll, and all. I was just a kid back then, so I think for a while, I got the impression that grown-ups were turned on by shitty music. As I think I've made clear in the film retrospective of her I'm doing, I'm not really a fan of Madonna's non-musical projects. And I can't think of any project more non-musical than this one.
For you to justify my love.
To even call Justify My Love a song as being generous, it's safer to call it part of an experiment Madonna was conducting at the time to see if people would literally buy any piece of dog crap that involved her being naked in some way. And the public responded with a resounding yes, as Justify My Love went #1 despite basically not being a finished product in any way.
Kiss me, that's right.
This was actually written by Lenny Kravitz for what has to be the easiest $1 million anybody has ever made. It's 2 notes and a string of random, non-rhyming sentences. Oh, I'm sorry, a string of deep erotic fantasies.
Oh, run naked in a rainstorm. Make love in a train. Cross country.
I want to stick my toes in your
You
mouth.
put this in me.
I want to eat chili off your naked body. On VH1, all they ever talked about was the video, never about the song, and for pretty obvious reasons. Basically doesn't exist. The lyrics aren't even that sexy.
Poor is the man whose pleasures depend on the permission of another.
Permission is pretty important in my opinion.
That's right.
And forget justifying my love, justify that sentence.
Poor is the man.
Well, I must be the richest man on earth, because all of my pleasures don't even involve another person, and haven't for years. Because we're all suckers, Madonna's experiment worked like a charm, racking up yet another #1 hit for what's basically the soundtrack to a bad porno. This trick would only work for a little while longer though, as the public started to experience shock fatigue. Eventually the world runs out of monocles to pop. In my opinion, Justify My Love doesn't justify its existence. Next. Number 2. You want to know how much of a stranglehold adult contemporary music had on the charts back then? You know, the Rod Stewarts, the Michael Boltons. That genre was so big, there was an actual contemporary Christian artist on that list. A couple, actually.
I need your light to help me find my place in this world.
Yes, 1991 was so bland, that Christian artist could cross over to the mainstream. Look, I know I've said some harsh things about this genre before, but I want to make clear it's mostly for aesthetic reasons, not because I dislike religious music on principle. The sound of this music, the sound of this guy's voice, makes my skin crawl, but I don't hate it just because it's Christian or quasi-Christian. Wanting guidance to find your place in this world from God or from whoever, I don't think that's a bad idea for a song at all. I think that's quite a nice sentiment. Believe me, if I'm offended by a religious message, I will tell you.
From a distance, the world looks blue.
Since the dawn of time, there's been one question that philosophers and religious scholars have struggled with. Why do bad things happen to good people?
God is watching us.
Why does God allow such awful, seemingly pointless tragedies like war and famine and death to befall so many? Doesn't God care what happens to us? And Bette Midler's From a Distance answers that question pretty definitively. No! No, he doesn't.
From a distance, there is harmony.
I swear I'm not twisting the message of the song. That's exactly what it's about. How if you zoom out, everything looks calm and peaceful.
And there are no guns, no bombs, and no disease.
Yep. So there's your answer. Why does God let all these terrible things happen? Because he doesn't know about them. Turns out, from the Almighty's perspective, everything's peachy keen because he is simply not looking very closely. From a distance, your problems don't exist. You don't exist. Isn't that comforting?
God is watching us from a distance.
I've always just been baffled by why people find this song uplifting, why it meant so much to people back then. I've only ever found it horrifying. There's nothing in here about God loving us or caring about us or even knowing about us. They may as well name the song, God is deeply uninformed of your current situation. Look, if there is a God up there, I refuse to believe he is as either apathetic or bored with us as he seems to be in this song. I mean, I hope. Are you there, God? It's me, Todd. You're listening to me, right? You care about my problems. We have a relationship, right? Todd, I'll be honest. From up here, you basically matter as much as an amoeba. Sorry. But I saw on the beach, there were 2 sets of footprints because you were with me, but during my hard times in my life, there was only 1 set, and that's when you carried me. That wasn't me. I don't know whose that other set of footprints was. Some guy, I guess. Now go away, I'm busy. Oh.
God is watching us from a distance.
Number 1. You know, I've already slammed Michael Bolton several times in this review, but with the full-on charm offensive he's waged in recent years, maybe it's time to reevaluate the guy. There was a time when calling Michael Bolton a no-talent ass clown was the least controversial statement in history, but why? Probably because unlike other soft rock gods like Sting or Phil Collins, he never had a good period. He doesn't have any undeniable quality tracks that everyone loves that would count in his favor. But because he shows up several times on the Hot 100 this year, I've had the chance to relook at him, and was he really that bad? Well, he certainly wasn't great, but now that I've had the chance to listen to the many songs he notched on this list, my answer is no. Fight the real enemy.
Look into my eyes.
I feel like we've all collectively decided to give Bryan Adams a pass because he made Summer of '69 and that was a good song that everyone likes, right? So we all decided to just move on and forget everything else he ever wrote. But pretty much everything he wrote after that song was terrible. And then there's this turd, the biggest song of Bryan Adams' career, the biggest song of 1991, and one of the most wretched, unbearable turds that I can remember.
You know it's true. Everything I do it for you.
I can't even put my finger on why. Is it his watered-down Springsteen voice, sappy music production? Honestly, I think more than anything it's the intolerable blandness of the lyrics. Everything I do it for you. Everything? Eat lunch, go bowling, watch reruns of MASH? It's a meaningless statement. And silly love songs don't need great lyrics, but even lowering my standards, this is too vapid for words. You may as well have named this song I Super Duper Love You More Than Infinity. It's not true, and if it was, it wouldn't be healthy. Because I have 2 functioning ears, I've done my best to avoid Bryan Adams' music, so I don't actually know that much about the guy. So, again, let me see what they say on the All Music Guide. Finest resource a music lover has ever had. And, what? Why is there no Bryan Adams entry? How could All Music has everything? It has information on obscure 70s smooth jazz flute players. What the... how? Are you shitting me? He threatened to sue AllMusic.com unless every bit of information about him was erased. They're a reference publication. That's like suing the dictionary. They didn't have to just delete negative reviews. They can't even list basic information like his name or his albums. Rockstars have been assholes since the dawn of time, but I have never heard of an artist using their power to bully critics into erasing reviews. This offends me on a level I didn't even realize I was capable of. Fuck you, Bryan Adams, you censoring dick. Fuck you, and fuck all of Canada too.
Now, the Canadian government has apologized for Bryan Adams on several occasions.
Not good enough. And Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves is a terrible movie. I'm Todd in the Shadows and I'm done.